Okay, so I'm here with my friend Habib. He's also known as FocusBreak. And we are here to talk about the Dina Ali situation, day two, and to talk about some more stuff on top of just like the basic story. And let me get this set up here. I think we're gonna start. We were gonna start with the Reuters article, weren't we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So and also, so real quick before we get started and I start reading this for you guys, if anybody has if anybody has some breaking news, feel free to please tweet it at me. My Twitter handle's right there on the screen, and send me any more developing stuff. You'll know basically where we're at once we're done reading this article. Trying to clear my throat. So here we go. For those who aren't aware, we're going to get caught up real quick. Saudi woman seeking asylum in Australia returned to Saudi Arabia. A Saudi woman claiming she sought asylum in Australia was stopped on a layover in the Philippines and returned to Riyadh on Wednesday. Dina Ali Lasloom said in self-recorded videos the Philippine authorities had held her at the Manila airport and confiscated her passport. The video circulated widely on social media over the last 2 days. My name is Dina Ali, and I'm a Saudi woman who fled Saudi Arabia to Australia to seek asylum, she said in one video, adding she feared violence from any relatives who came to bring her back home. I'm trying to copy something. Please help me. I'm recording this video to help me and know that I'm real and I'm here. The woman did not say why she sought refuge abroad, and the authenticity of the videos cannot be immediately verified. The Saudi embassy in Manila issued a statement on Wednesday calling the case a family matter and added without elaborating that she had returned with her relatives to her homeland. Philippine authorities did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. I swear to God, I'm going to get that fucking word down. Reuters.
Reuters, yeah.
Reuters. In Saudi Arabia, women are legally subjected to a male guardian who must give his approval for basic decisions on education, marriage, travel, and even medical treatment. Saudi authorities have, over the last decade, granted new opportunities for women to study and work, but women are still barred from driving and must obey strict dress code requiring that they wear loose robes when in public. Carried on a flight, Megan Khan, a Canadian tourist, told the Australian newspaper after landing in Bali that she had allowed Ali to use her phone to post the videos on Twitter. Ali began to cry when two men whom she identified as relatives arrived at the Manila airport, Khan told the paper. Saudi activists said Ali was forced onto a Saudi Arabia Airlines flight from Manila to Riyadh on Tuesday night. She did not emerge at King Khalid International Airport in Riyadh after the flight landed early Wednesday morning, but multiple passengers told Reuters they had seen a woman being carried onto the plane screaming. I heard a lady screaming from upstairs, then I saw 2 or 3 men carrying her. They weren't Filipino. They looked Arab, said one Filipino woman who declined to give her name. Oh, hello, kiddo. A rare gathering of about 10 Saudi activists appeared in the arrivals area of the Riyadh airport around midnight on Wednesday after a hashtag began circulating on Twitter urging people to receive Dina
Gina.
at the airport. One of them, a 23-year-old medical student named Allah Al-Anazi, appeared to have been detained after approaching airport security about the case. Her sister Nada said airport officials told her Al-Anazi had been sent to a police station in central Riyadh, but said she was unable to confirm her sister's whereabouts. Reuters could not immediately reach security officials for comment. Saudi authorities brook little public dissent and frequently detain activists on charges of undermining social cohesion and participating in demonstrations. And just real quick, shout out to Esau Silva, who donated on Super Chat. I hope you don't become bald like Steve Shives. Fuck. And you. Oh my god, you bastard!
We'll get you some badges for that hat. Like, I don't know, bullying is bad or something.
Yeah, I need an anti-Nazi pin so people know I don't like Nazis. But anyway,
Like, well, I mean about this article. I mean, it didn't really show anything that we didn't really already know
Right.
on Twitter. One of the things that they said is the confirmation by the Saudi embassy over there, and the statement that was issued and basically lambasted all over Twitter. Have very very high suspension that that it might be shot. The stationery looks off. It All press releases from any embassy or any official cabinet within Saudi Arabia has to have a signature from a press secretary. That one didn't have any signature, not even any name to confirm it. And when I dug through trying to find the source, I couldn't find it. So I went to the embassy's website where they have an archive of all the press releases, and that release was not even there. So
Right.
I'm highly skeptical of that one. Um, until 2 hours ago, I was highly suspect of this whole story. I knew that there was a girl called Dina Ali,
Mm.
and she was traveling back to Saudi from Manila on the same flight because we had a screenshot of flight bookings and whoever was on the flight. There was some flight records that were leaked on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
But until 2 hours ago, Amnesty Gulf, which is one of the uh, the authorities that I would trust, like a legit kind of source, confirmed the whole story, and they were like, "Yeah, we kind of confirmed that she was deported from Manila back to Saudi."
I wonder if I could pull that up. Is there a website for that Amnesty Gulf did the oh yeah, oh shit, right here on Twitter. Holy shit. Okay.
It's Twitter. I retweet, and they were like, "Yeah, we hope that the Saudi government keeps her safe." And I'm like, "Yeah, forget about it. That's not gonna happen."
Sadly, we confirmed Dina's deportation from the Philippines. Saudi Arabia must protect her, ensure all women enjoy full equality. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So we can at this point we can confirm that there was a woman and that she was deported from the Philippines back to Riyadh. Like there was quite a few people who were very skeptical last night, and rightly so, because as you and I were saying off stream, that there a lot of news organizations these days have to be really careful because far too often they'll immediately jump to conclusions and then they'll end up with egg on their face because they basically manufactured a story when there wasn't one. So I understand that, but this is one of those situations where it's time sensitive, so it was very frustrating.
Even when it's time sensitive, like I was skeptical even at the beginning, and I was like, "Yeah, I understand the gravity of the matter." But when the first two videos came out, the first video was the one that I retweeted at the time, and last night I was quite busy, so I didn't look at Twitter until the second video came out, and the first video was just her
Right.
with the camera on her chest, and she was just saying that, yeah, I'm being deported and stuff like that, and they're gonna kill me. This is just me saying that I'm real.
Right.
And then the second and third one was the second one was her shouting at that police officer, "He's not my father."
That one I was
A-
really skeptical about myself.
And then the third one was what that threw me off was the Canadian girl just like filming the Saudi girl Dina, and she was talking in a completely different accent.
Yeah.
Like the first one, like, yeah, I understand that's a Saudi accent. That's a middle classish kind of Saudi accent. When
Mhm.
that's the kind of accent that you learn in school when you talk English.
Right.
When you just learn it in school in Saudi. The second one was completely and utterly different.
Right.
That's the kind of Saudi accent that you get from people that studied abroad or something.
The
You
one.
get to this like she was trying to talk like a valley girl in some way, and I was like, yeah, this is not the same girl at all.
Right.
So that just threw me off.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of context in that conversation, and that one kind of threw me off a bit too. And I was wondering if that was actually supposed to be Dina Ali, or if it was actually somebody else that was there, like
No,
talking about the situation. But I don't know.
no, yeah, I was just tweeting about it, just like while we were streaming on the other stream, and what came to my mentions, they were like, yeah, what about Monday and Matt? He was being completely skeptical and callous about it, and they were trying to trash the guy, and I was like, you know what? I understand why he is skeptical because I was as well, and I was personally involved in some of the cases that were kind of ended up being false. Like
Right.
people know I help people escape Saudi when I can, and there was this one that tried to scam us. She
Really.
traveled to Dubai, and she wanted to raise some funds, and she's like, "Can you give me any money so I can travel to the West?" And once we dug into her history, we found out that no, she's on vacation. She's trying to make an easy buck.
Oh my, that's so fucked up.
I know. So this is something that I personally faced.
Right.
So you know, yeah. Excuse me for being a little bit skeptical. I understand that in the end, um, even if I was like full on ever since the news broke out,
Mm.
the moment she was kept in immigration in the Philippines, that's a lost cause.
Sure.
That's a lost cause. Like you could have a petition, you could do whatever you want, but no, she's right now under international law, she's being extradited back to Saudi,
Right.
and people were like, but but she's innocent. She didn't steal those like 200,000 reals or $50,000, and I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No.
You don't have to be a criminal to be extradited. All you have to do is just call the embassy over there and be like, "Hey, extradite that person." If that embassy has good standing with the government over there, then they'll extradite you. That's it.
And it also probably helps though because well, and this isn't necessarily confirmed as far as I know, but I mean it would be hard for me to do it because I don't speak Arabic. I can't read Arabic at least. Well, I can't speak it either. What the fuck am I saying? Anyway, but I can't independently verify it. But the rumors that are very compelling that one of her uncles is a very influential man over in the Philippines would lend credit to the fact that like, one powerful man makes a fucking phone call. It doesn't matter. You're going back. That's all there is to it. And the Philippines have been corrupt for fucking ever. So it's hard to it made sense, but there were so many things that also kind of it's really easy when these things are happening and they're happening quick and it starts tugging at your heartstrings. Like there was the tweet or the text that was sent allegedly from somebody who was working on the plane that she was beaten into a coma.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that could be true. That could actually have been the case. She could have been beaten into a coma, but you don't know. And the more as the story grows, the more you have to be like, well, let's slow down and let's try and figure out exactly what happened. And when there is not major news agencies that are like, bloodhound on the scent on a story, it's really hard to get that kind of verification. So we have to go through citizen reporting. So
Yeah, and the thing is, like they were, there was a tiny little protest. There were like 10, maybe 12 activists on the airport.
Yeah.
With some journalists as well, and they were kind of surprised that there was some security, some heightened security at Riyadh International, and I'm like, it's been under high security since 2001, since 9/11.
Oh,
pretty much.
really?
Yeah, it's always been the case. That's nothing surprising. And they're like, yeah, we're not allowed into the VIP lounge, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a surprise because no one is allowed there. It's just
Somebody
VIPs.
somebody asked in the chat, "You're acting like it turned out to be fake. All of a sudden, we change your tune." No, this is the thing. It's not fake. We know now. It is definitely not fake.
No, yeah, I mean, yes, I was skeptical
Uh-huh.
until, like I said, about a few hours ago when Amnesty Gulf confirmed it. I was waiting for a confirmation.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna like discredit or discourage anyone from getting involved in such cases,
Sure.
because I would rather be supportive of such cases and then end up being false,
Yep.
or supporting a false premise, than ending up being callous about it and just going like ignoring it completely and then turning out to be true.
Exactly. I feel the same way. And that
I'm just saying that sometimes skepticism can be good as well when you're just presenting news.
yeah, a lot of me framing in the way that I have just now is because some people, specifically like Monday Matt, got a lot of shit last night, and I would agree that his tone about it was a bit, well, it seemed a bit callous. But that's the tone that he chose to go with. I'm not gonna like browbeat him. I'm nobody's fucking dad or anything. But I don't think he's wrong to question the story, because it is important to question the story because that compels us to dig further and to try and get independent verification. So that's a good thing. It's honestly a good
Yeah,
thing.
maybe it's the maybe that kind of tone is lost on me. Maybe it's language barrier. I didn't really see it as callous. I was just like, it's someone presenting the facts and going like, well, not all of it is confirmed. Maybe
Well,
there's some, some minor things here and there that might have given that kind of impression, but they're lost on me.
yeah, a lot of it, a lot of it comes down to the sensationalist style of news reporting that we usually have in the West, specifically in the United States, lends to the this kind of outrage. Like, I don't appreciate the tone in which you're using your objectivity. It's just kind of how it goes, and I don't know. I don't think it helps either way. But
So what are they complaining about then? Are they telling policing now?
I guess. Well, if people get emotionally invested in this, and they're not wrong to get emotionally invested in this. Like it's a horrifying idea that this is going on, especially if people are not used to it. And that's another thing, and that's one of the reasons why, aside from the fact I always like hanging out with you, that I wanted to talk with you about this issue is, you've been involved in this, like actual firsthand involved in this type of thing. So you have a different emotional reaction to it than people who are viewing this. Like we know bad things happen, but then when we hear about them happening, they already happened. With Dina Ali, one of the reasons why I got so many people really upset and really riled up is because it was happening at that moment and people felt powerless. Once it's already happened, it's a foregone conclusion. You can't really feel helpless because, well, you didn't even know about it, so you're kind of free and clear. And there's a type of guilt that you can't make a difference that affects people, and I understand that. It's wild. But how? So I did want to ask you, because you grew up in Saudi Arabia, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're intimately familiar with this type of thing. You were telling me earlier how that there's been on Arabic Twitter, there's been a huge number of people that basically, how did you frame it, that we lost, quote unquote?
Yeah, we lost a lot of people just with the same kind of circumstances.
Hmm.
People who tried to run away, people who spoke out and then they disappeared. There was this girl that tweeted about 12 hashtags, just like, do you remember those? With certain names like Mariam Najjar. There was the God damn it, Mariam Atabi. Well,
Hmm.
Mariam Atabi just got out of jail anyway, so she's kind of doing fine, I guess,
Okay.
considering. Um, and we have a lot. The most famous example is Raif Badawi. Raif Badawi got a huge media attention, but where is he now? He's in jail and he's getting thousands of lashes because of blog posts. So this kind of stuff happens all the time. And there's been people that we lost for, like, they committed suicide. Some people got executed for doing the same kind of stuff that Dina just did.
Right.
Tried to run away or spoke out against the royal family or against Islam.
Right.
That kind of stuff happens. And I guess because it happens so much, and there's been at least 12 cases since the beginning of this year that I know of. Um, I don't know. You just get desensitized by it. You go like, just there goes another one.
It's kind of like how it's kind of like how when there's a mass amount of gun violence in America. It used to be 15 years ago, if there was a weekend of drive-by shootings, it'd be national news. Drive-by shootings happen all the fucking time now in America, and either we don't hear about it or we hear about it and we just do not give a shit. It washes over us. Once you're subjected to an atrocity for so long, you just kind of get numb over it, and it's unfortunate that it does. But I can't imagine living in a living a life where every instance of this type of thing just completely destroys me emotionally. But
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the case back in, I would say, 2006, when
hmm.
we first started getting louder with this kind of activism. And that was the first time we tried to get women driving in Saudi, and I was quite involved in that, like personally, when I was living there. To the point where I was put in jail for like 2 days because I was teaching women how to drive.
Really?
Yeah, I was put in detention for a couple of days.
What the fuck?
So I wear that as a badge of pride. Like, yeah, it's something that I did. But
BBC is
yeah, back
recording
then,
right now.
whenever we lost someone, it hit us hard because it was the beginning of this grassroots movement. Um, but now we just got used to it.
Hmm.
We can understand that whatever we're fighting for in Saudi, for equal rights or for secularism or whatever you want to call it, it's the effects of it are not going to happen overnight, and we're going to be paying the price for the next generation to live a better life. Our generation's already fucked.
Oh, sure, yeah. So BBC has started reporting on it. There's a section of it. The Saudi embassy in the Philippines confirmed that the citizen had returned to Saudi, adding that what happened was a family affair. I think we probably read that already, but just wanted to have that confirmation through BBC. Yeah, no, this is it's pretty wild. So there was a story that you shared with me, and I wanted to share it with people on the stream, because, and this, it's really trying to get into the culture of how crazy some of this stuff can get. And that was, oh fuck, oh my god, you just here, you know what? Before I butcher this fucking name, don't correct me. You wrote the pronunciation out for me. Because I'm such an idiot.
It's fine.
Raif. Raif?
Raif.
Raif. Oh,
Raif.
Fuck. Raif. Raif
Yeah.
Badawi. Badawi.
Yeah.
Badawi. Okay. All right. I got it. Nailed it. You don't even know, guys. I'm the best at pronunciations. There we go. So this young man, well, he's 33 now, but he was a young man. He was arrested in 2012 on a charge of insulting Islam through electronic channels and brought to court on several charges, including apostasy. Apostasy. Jesus fucking Christ, what's wrong with me? But he was convicted on several charges and sentenced to 7 years in prison and 600 lashes, which was then changed to 10 years in prison and 1,000 lashes. The flogging was to be carried out over 20 weeks. In January 9th of 2015, he got his first 50 lashes. So the background behind this, because you know this case a lot better than I do. What specifically did this guy do to warrant 10 years in prison and 1,000 fucking lashes?
I think the blog that got people so upset. By the way, he's not an apostate. He's not even an ex-Muslim. He is a Muslim skeptic. That's how he identifies himself. And he was always, a critic of, how Islam is being practiced in Saudi, how Wahhabism is taking control of Saudi, and how the Saudi royal family is embracing it.
Mm.
But the blog post that got the most outrage from the orthodoxy or the clergy in Saudi was when he said, I would like to meet Muhammad, but not as a prophet and a follower, and not as a leader and someone to be led. I want to meet him as an equal and have a conversation, one-to-one.
How dare he?
And they were like, how dare you? Just how dare you compare yourself to Muhammad? No, you're not an equal to him. And so he tried to escape, and in his panic, he was like, I'm going to stop at Malaysia, and from there I'm going to book another ticket to go somewhere else, because Malaysia is one of the few countries where, as a Saudi, you don't need a visa to travel to.
Sure.
He didn't have the time to get a visa. As soon as he arrived there, he got the same treatment as Dina Ali. Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Passport and all papers were confiscated. They didn't even wait to have people being there to pick him up. No, they just shoved him in a plane back to Saudi, where the police was waiting for him.
God damn. That's fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So there's international reactions. There's been people trying to vie for him to get sent to be released, that sort of thing. There was a section in here. I wish I had marked it down. Obviously, the court also ordered his website closed, of course. The founding an internet forum that violates Islamic values and propagates liberal thought. Oof, liberal thought.
Yeah, how dare he?
Yeah, how dare you have liberal thought? Oh man, where was it?
Yeah, the clergy in Saudi, they're kind of funny. They think that ISIS is liberal.
I'm sorry, what?
They think ISIS is liberal. It's a liberal and propaganda thing. Yeah. That's how much they hate liberals. They're like, yeah, it's the liberals. They created ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
Just to besmirch Islam, they created ISIS. That's their propaganda, pretty much. That's their narrative.
So Sigmar Gabriel, Germany's Minister of Economic Affairs, he was going over to Saudi Arabia. People petitioned He got petitioned to try to support the release of Raif. Raif?
Raif.
Raif. Fuck me dead.
Yeah, it's two syllables.
Raif.
Try.
Raif.
Yeah.
And the Saudi Arabian government responded by rejecting criticism of its human rights record and asserting that it does not accept interference in any form in its internal affairs, of course. So,
Yeah, pretty much like mind your business.
yeah. German news magazine Der Spiegel reported in March that Badawi had written from prison that he miraculously survived 50 lashes while he was surrounded by a cheering crowd who cried incessantly, Allahu Akbar. Protests and visuals outside Saudi embassies continued. It's so sad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is one of the most known cases that happened, and there's a silver lining that Dina got this much media attention because um, in the case of Raif, everybody was sure like this guy's gonna get executed.
Right.
I mean, he's accused of apostasy. That's execution right away. But because of so much pressure put on Saudi, they were like, well, we're going to be a little bit lenient on him. And that's their version of being lenient. So I highly doubt that Dina's going to get executed,
Yeah.
but she's not going to have a good time, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the other thing, though. I gotta ask this question because I don't know, and that's why I need to get educated because I'm a shitlord. Do you feel like maybe that might not necessarily be the case specifically because he's a man?
Yeah, that actually might be it. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, he would have been executed if it wasn't for the media attention.
Sure.
But because Dina is a woman, and being a woman in Saudi, that means like you didn't even bring only yourself shame. You brought shame on your entire family.
Right.
And she's from a big family. Like her tribe is called Al Yami, which is I think the sixth or fifth biggest tribe in Saudi. They're very influential over there.
Mm-hmm.
So if they press for her execution, they wouldn't really care if they would go against the grain when it comes to the media attention and international pressure.
Right. Yeah, a lot of Westerners aren't familiar with the concept of tribes in the peninsula and that sort of thing. That was something that I talked to my buddy who lives in the UAE, and he's a Bedouin. Is that these families, these tribal families are, and tribal doesn't necessarily mean like they live in fucking huts or some shit, but like these are first world people living in big fucking cities. But these are huge, massive, fucking collective groups of families, and many of them are extremely fucking influential, extremely influential. So I can see that.
You can compare it to the mafia pretty much.
Really?
And I'm not putting any negative or positive connotation on the word mafia, but yeah, you can imagine as a mafia family or a mob family. You've got it's an extended family of people where each one of them would have an influence in certain positions of the government, or they would be businessmen or lawyers or whatever, and they all collaborate and cooperate to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And yes, they would go in like against each other, trying to undermine one another because some families would have alliances with one another, like arranged marriages and whatnot, just to bring some families together.
Sure.
And some of them would be like, no, to declare war against another. Like I remember Anazi was one of the families that got the short end of the stick because I think it was another big family, if I'm not mistaken, it was either Liami or Shumari that went against them for a while, and they just lost a lot of cred, let's say. A lot of influence was gone. And yeah, that kind of stuff happens. Like it's not really in the open. Like you have to be really involved within the Saudi community to really understand what's going on. But it goes to the point where a judge that have allegiance with a certain tribe or a family would be able to divorce a couple because they're married within, like, they're from opposing families and they don't really approve of their marriage. They're like, yeah, to just separate them because reasons.
Right. Yeah.
So that happens. It's happened a few times. Really, like families been broken over tribal disagreements in Saudi Arabia.
Man, it's so so far, pretty much that's basically where we're stuck at. We do have confirmation about Dina Ali. A lot of the finer details are still just kind of up in the air. We don't know how well she's doing. I think there was a little bit of confirmation, as far as it could be confirmed, that she was in a detention center. I think it was this person, Sam Alghamdi.
Alhamdi.
Alhamdi, yeah. I believe she's been getting some confirmations that she is in a women's center. Let's see.
Yeah, well, women's centers are pretty much like detention centers.
Yeah, it's like a jail, not necessarily a prison, but like a jail.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and you just get stuck there. You either you get evaluated if you're mentally ill or not. But even if you get like a release notice, like yeah, it can be released, you have to be picked up by your guardian. And in her case, her best case scenario right now is her guardian or her father or uncle or whatever would pick her up and just put her in a room in her house where she's going to rot for the rest of her life, or she's going to be left there in the detention center for the rest of her life.
One thing I was kind of curious about these types of, because I've heard that several times now, that you get shit. You just used a really good word. Evaluated. Is it? There's kind of a trope. Sometimes it's just in movies, but it also has happened in confirmed cases where people in America are sent for evaluation into mental health, and even if they're perfectly a sound mind, they just basically get institutionalized. Is that a common thing that might happen in Saudi Arabia?
It did happen, but it's not as common as most people think.
Okay.
It did happen though.
Okay. I think that's something that a couple of people were theorizing about, possible
Yeah,
things that could happen.
I mean, it could happen. I'm not discounting it, but a lot of people go like, yeah, evaluation. They put it in like three quotation marks, and I'm like, no, I mean, yeah, I come from a backward country, but sometimes like, yeah, they actually do evaluations
Hmm.
because their evaluation is basically like because in Saudi law or in Sharia law, basically, if you're mentally ill, then you cannot be condemned of any crime,
Well,
none whatsoever.
okay. That's kind of good. Kind of.
Yeah, that's in Sharia law. So, like, if you're mentally ill, then yeah, you're innocent of any wrongdoing.
Okay. Okay. Uh all right. So so far the options that it looks like for Dina Ali is she could evaluate and she could pretty much just stay there and rot. A family member could pick her up and then she could just stay there and rot. She could get picked up and she could be, I mean, is honor killing the proper words to be using in a case where she might basically be killed for family honor?
Honor killing is not as common in Saudi Arabia as it is in Pakistan, but
Right.
in a family like Al-Yami, it did happen before.
Okay.
Now, in most of the cases that I know of, the girls that I interacted with or the girls that I heard about, they were driven to suicide. They were not killed by the family member.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I still call them. They were killed by their family member because they were pressured to committing suicide because they had nothing to live for whatsoever. So I would still consider that a form of honor killing, but it's not as honor killing like someone just shooting them in the face.
Right, right.
There's a distinction there.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of it too is a misunderstanding and a misperception of situations like that in Saudi Arabia, because you can go on certain forums and you'll see like a public beheading, in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
but those are for very specific things. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody being honor killed with a fucking sword. I don't, at least not in
Now,
Saudi Arabia.
honor killing has to be made by a family member.
Right,
Now, here's the thing about honor killing. Honor killing is not part of the Sharia court.
right.
Honor killing is when the Sharia court goes like, no, this guy's innocent, but the mob or the people go like, no, they're guilty because Islam says so, even if the Sharia court makes them um, you know, gives them a verdict of being innocent. It's
So
basically Sharia vigilantism. That's what I would describe it as.
so the Sharia court says no, we're not going to punish in that manner. That's not what's going to happen according to Sharia law. and the court of public opinion, the mob, says no, this person has to die. Well, in that case, when those types of things happen, is anybody ever prosecuted for doing that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Really?
A
Okay.
lot of times, yeah. But here's the thing, I mean, the family members of the victim have to be the one prosecuted them. If they choose not to, then they just won't. It happened. I mean, it happened a few months ago with that pop artist from Pakistan that was killed by her brother,
Oh yeah.
and
Fuck.
and and her brother is still in jail right now and to be executed, by the way, uh, because her father was like, no, he's gonna get what he deserves. I don't really give a fuck. And there's a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure on her dad to go like, yeah, just he's done the right thing. He killed her because she was in a post state, and a shame on your family. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Fuck off.
Wow.
He killed he killed my fucking daughter.
Well, good for him. Jesus fucking Christ. That's insane.
But yeah, if but yeah, there's been cases where the family members wouldn't really care. They'd be like, yeah, they were a shame on the family anyway. And it's kind of sad that it's the norm that the family members don't really give a fuck about these people because they're like, yeah, they brought shame, so they got what they deserve.
Right. So then, okay. So let's say that we're looking at these options that might happen to Dina. Do you feel like there is any possible chance she's actually ever going to get a chance to escape again?
There might be. I mean, there's a slim chance that she gets picked up and she manages to escape again. I mean, there's been cases where we got girls that were in worse situations out of Saudi. We just have to be very, very careful about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. So far, the only one that I could verify is her sister, who is still on Twitter, and maybe that's the only way we could get in reach with her
Right.
and get her the help that she needs. I know that there's a few organizations that are interested in helping her in any way they can. So I'll be in touch with them and I'll see what I can do.
Sure.
There's not much I can do. I know that there's people who are more capable that are on the case.
Yeah.
I'm just here in case anybody needs me. So
Right. Yeah.
you know how it is.
And you also, I mean, you do help, especially when you help out with things like this. You're basically helping be like a translator for the cultural divide and these types of things because you have a firsthand knowledge and the cultural understanding that we can pick your brain and try and understand in other places because this is such a foreign culture to a lot of people who aren't well versed in it. So it's still a good resource for sure. I got a question on Twitter, and somebody asked, what is the best thing that we as people who feel like they want to be compelled to try and help, what can we actually do to help these people escape these types of situations?
There's a guy on Twitter now who just announced that he's opening an organization or starting an organization to help these specific people. He's a Saudi immigrant or a Saudi ex-Muslim that seeked refuge in. He's now living in Germany.
Okay.
Let me just look up his Dr. Talib Jawad. That's.
Should I look up him on Twitter or?
Yeah, he's on Twitter.
Talib Jawad.
Jawad.
Is his handle Talib Al Abdul Mohsen?
No, Dr. Dr. Talib Taleb Jawad Gawad.
Gawad. Okay. Dr. Talib. No, that didn't fucking come up.
All right, I'm just gonna try and
Gawad.
J.
Oh, J. Okay.
J.
See, I had it right the first time. Dr. Talib Jawad. Here we go. Yeah. His name on here is Talib Al Abdul Mohsen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's psychiatrist from Saudi Arabia, ex-Muslim.
Yeah, he just started gathering donations on PayPal,
Okay.
and he's going to start like a little internet forum of some sort. And I know that Atheist Republic as well have worked on such cases, but I'm not really sure how much they're involved with it. I need to talk to their founder again. I had him on a stream a couple of weeks ago. But for now, I don't really know where exactly to go. But since this got so much attention and there's a lot of people that are willing to help, maybe I can capitalize on that and try to push Dr. Talib and achieving whatever he needs to do and give him some pointers here and there. I know that he knows a lot more resources than me since he's been through the process of seeking asylum and helping people with it.
Right.
Once we have such a fund, then maybe we can make sure at least each person that gets out of Saudi, once they buy that ticket, then they have full legal protection. They would have a lawyer protecting them in every single step of the way.
Yeah,
So
they need a
such a thing won't
lawyer.
happen again.
They need a lawyer like greeting them at the airport as soon as they got off the goddamn plane. You know.
Yeah, so if a lawyer was greeting her, let's say, at the transit airport in Manila, and the guys were like, "Hey, give us your passport and papers," then he would be like, "No, you don't have any rights to do so.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, she only contacted the lawyer later on, and he charged her something like $1,200, and he couldn't really do shit about it. He was a little bit too late to help her at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we do have a few. I mean, I don't have a plan yet. I know that Dr. Talib is trying to plan something out. I'm not saying that hey, just go throw money at him right now because I don't know if his plan is actually sound.
Right.
I just heard him on Twitter right now. I just heard him on Twitter a few hours ago saying that yeah, I want to plan something out, and it would be a nice option. But before I can give him my full endorsement, I want to see what his plan is actually going to be.
So it's looking like Nick is saying that that you should hold a kebab stream to cover this effort directly. Once we get more information specifically about a good organization and a good plan towards helping people who are trying to flee Saudi Arabia. I think that's a good idea. We could probably get all the fucking big boys to come and talk about it and that sort of thing. So I guess for now, the most anybody can really do to help Dina Ali is just cross your fucking fingers, you know.
Well, Dina, I hate to be.
I know.
I hate to be this. You know,
I know
when
what
it
you're
comes
gonna
to Dina,
say. Go ahead.
it's a lost case now. And we just. It's going to take us a while to accept that we kind of lost a person, and we lost another person just now. There might be a little bit of a hope at the end of this tunnel, but I highly skeptical of anything good happening from this. Just
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is to move on and try to help anyone else who might want to escape. As for her, she's gone.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, it is what it is. I think that's pretty much a good day to catch up, unless there's anything else you wanted to bring up.
I don't know. What else is there to bring up? Yeah, I mean, I did in most of my activism. Let's say when I try to help people, is first of all you make sure that they have enough cash to support themselves. A lot of those girls, when they try to escape, and other guys too, they have no idea how asylum works or how immigration works because we live in a very closed society. We don't even have any tourism in Saudi, so their interaction with foreigners is quite limited.
Sure.
So first of all, education is a big thing. Like when they reach out, you try to at least educate them that seeking asylum is a human right. It's not something that you just assume that some people would give you out of charity. It is a human. It's your right to seek asylum. And once they understand that, then you can help them by seeking out other organizations. Um, there's a lot of refugee and immigrant kind of organizations all over the world, all over the West, that would take these refugees and asylum seekers in and try to help them out. It's just when someone like that reaches out to any of you guys, all you have to do is just use your internet know-how because these guys don't know better, and just look up these organizations, just connect the dots for them. Be like, hey, contact these people;
Let's
they'll
be a
help you
big
out.
support network. Help them find resources.
Yeah,
So Baz, Furious Fossa just tweeted this out. Dina is currently in a detention center, but her family have agreed to honor kill her, which must not be allowed to happen. Can at Amnesty help? It's a quoted retweet from this account right here. Ooh, shit. You can see my screen share if I share screens with you, right?
yeah. Let me get Skype open.
That way, hopefully, you can confirm this because you can read Arabic. I can't.
No, actually, I can't. Let me just check Twitter.
Okay. I will. I will DM this a copy of this tweet to you.
All right.
They say the translation says, according to dependable sources, Dinah's family agreed that they should kill her as soon as she gets out. That's the translation. I want to try and get this as confirmed as possible. Here, let me DM you real quick.
Okay.
What the fuck is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what that is. One second, audience. There you go.
All right. Let's see. From Sama. It's funny, like Sarah, the person who tweeted this calls herself Sarah Heisenberg Stark. That's an interesting name. Heisenberg and Stark. Has been difficult. Yeah, that's basically just someone tweeting that the family is urging to kill her, like to honor kill her, but I don't know her connection, if she has any actual connection with the girl.
Right. Yeah, we can't really confirm that. The I'd be curious to know if anybody's found any Twitter accounts that are actually owned by her family.
No, there was only her sister's Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
But no Twitter. I mean, I haven't found any social media account that belongs to her.
Yeah.
And that was my first the first sign of my skepticism. Like, I mean, I know Saudi girls. Saudi girls are just like any other girl. They be like all over social media.
Mm-hmm.
And to have someone who's not on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, or anything else, I was like, yeah, this is fishy a little bit.
Yeah, there was one that was there was one that had her name on it, but it looked fishy, and I don't think anybody believed it was actually her.
No, just 10 tweets. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Have you met a Saudi girl that has only 10 tweets? They don't exist. Saudi toddlers would have more than 10 tweets.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So we can't necessarily confirm that one yet. But yeah, I guess I think we'll just call it here. If anything more develops throughout the day, maybe we'll jump back into this again. Hopefully this is gonna get picked up by more people. But I wanted to get your unique perspective on it. Thank you so much for helping me out, man. I really appreciate it.
It's fine. It's fine, mate. I'm just, I was kind of surprised that, I only noticed your other stream like 16 hours after it went live, and I was like, sorry, I missed it. And then I checked it, and I was like, the emotions were so high during that one. I was like,
yeah,
it's good that I missed it, because otherwise I would be shouting at everybody.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's really hard not to get emotionally involved in it, but just the way it is, I suppose. But anyway, so everybody out there who's watching, thank you very much for taking the time to hang out with us. If there's any more developments, we'll try and get it out there. This has been my buddy Habib, also known as FocusBreak. You can find his link to his YouTube channel in the description. You can always find him on Twitter. He posts amazing pictures of delicious food, and it always makes me hungry. You fuck. You fuck.
I haven't been doing that in the past 2 days. I've been busy playing games.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess like whatever shilling I got to do. Sunday nights, YouTube Saints, me and Wizard of Cause. And at some point, probably later tonight or tomorrow, I plan to have me and Habib and some kids are gonna play golf with friends. We're gonna stream it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge. It'll be great.
Sweet.
I hope everybody out there has a good day. You take care. All right.
Laters.